Elliot Powell. Thank you for joining me here today. Most people who know me well know that I wear two hats. I am a practicing attorney here in Illinois, and I'm also a minister of the gospel. Now, as a minister, I'm honored to serve as the assistant pastor at Freedom Temple Church of God in Christ. And it so happens that you're here with me today at Freedom Temple. So I'm glad you've had an opportunity to join me. This also gives me a chance to tell you a story, something that happened to me in the year 2014 and has carried me to this day. In August of 2014, I suffered a heart attack. It was my first coming in July of 2009. Well, in 2014, after a procedure that my doctors performed, they wanted me to get 2 complete days of bed rest. That was somewhat difficult for me because I was so used to getting up and going to court and doing all of the things that I normally do on a day-by-day basis. But, of course, my recovery demanded it. So you better believe that I actually did what I was told. As I was in bed, I was looking at a lot of television, and I noticed something that I had not noticed before. And that is that there's very little positive programming on television. And as it turned out, daytime was worse than prime time. As I continued to look at the programming that was there, I asked myself the question, is this all that people have to look forward to? I mean, I would be in as bad a shape as many other people are if all I did was watch this type of programming day in and day out. As I began to continue to think about that, the Lord gave me an idea. And He even gave me the title to this idea. It's called, Can We Work This Out? And here's how it works. Rather than a judge show where there's a plaintiff and there's a defendant, someone wins, someone loses, this show is based on the principles of mediation. That is to say, if a family has fallen apart, we actually ask the family to come back together to see if we can mediate this particular process, if we can mediate what has gone on to come to some type of acceptable conclusion.
Like I'm a little kid. I'm 35 years old. You're not going to treat me like a little kid.
The money's in my possession and you...
My name is in the will. Grandmama say she got the money.
You cannot get the money.
I want my money. I want it now.
No, you can't get no money.
Grandmama left that money for me. I don't care what she said. No, she said, "What the money? My name is on the will. Why can I get my portion of the money?"
Ain't no portion.
Man, look.
Here's how it works. A host will introduce the family to us, the viewers. We'll see who the family is, and we'll see what has caused this family to fall apart. Shortly thereafter, the host will introduce 2 guest mediators. Now, these guest mediators may be celebrities, and they may be professionals who have worked in the mediation process. So we could have clinical psychologists, we could have ministers, we could have a number of other people who have dealt with families that are disgruntled in trying to bring them back together. What happens then is the host will assign one of the guest mediators to one faction of the family and the second guest mediator to the second faction of the family. Now, once the mediators are with their respective portions of the family, they'll start talking about everything. The mediators will start probing, asking those difficult questions about how did things fall apart? How were you guys before they fell apart? What do you think happened? All those types of things. And after that, the mediators themselves will come together with the host once again. They will then give the host what they believe their possible solutions are to this family problem. After they've had a chance to discuss that, Then the family is brought into one conference room to talk to the guest mediators and to the host. Now at that point, we believe that some sparks are going to fly, but that's natural. And it's natural because a central part of mediation is everyone having a chance to vent, to tell how this made you feel, what happened, and why it shouldn't have happened, and all of those types of things. After they've had a significant amount of time to vent, the host is going to ask each faction of the family one last question. Are you still willing to work this out? Hey guys, we can work this out, okay? If they say that they are, then the host is going to send each faction of the family back to their own respective rooms. They will be in the room with their guest mediator, and this time with an attorney. Now, the role of the attorney is to help them draft an agreement, and this agreement will tell what each party needs in order to truly work this out. Once the attorney for faction A has worked out an agreement and the attorney for faction B has worked out an agreement, the two attorneys will meet together. And once they have an agreement that's consistent, then they're going to take it back to each member of the family for their signature. If the family members sign the agreement, then they have successfully worked this out. If not, the attorneys can either come back together to renegotiate, or if the family simply will not sign, then they haven't worked it out. Our hope and our prayer, though, is that the families will see something in themselves to have a desire to work out their differences. And if they've all worked it out and if they've all signed it, then they've successfully worked it out. After they've all signed, the family comes back together in one room. They at that time can say anything that they want to say. Hopefully they'll make commitments to be one family again. Hopefully there'll be some hugs and some tears and all of those things that are necessary for these families that have been apart for too long to actually come back together. The whole point of this show is reconciliation of this family. More than anything else, we want to see families reconciled back one to another. So we hope that you will be a supporter of Can We Work This Out? And we hope that you will be a viewer of Can We Work This Out? Thank you, and God bless.
Oh, Ezekiel said he saw him.